Good morning, my furry earthline mammals, and what a beautiful day it is. Today, we will tackle bears, and not just bears, though one does what one must. But today, we will tackle what we failed to achieve in the last video, and I will show you today how to shove a bear into a video. Yes, today is all about successful character swapping, and to be clear, that has nothing to do with wife swapping. Though you could, and just look at that magnificent bear bastard. What a fine specimen he is atop that horse. And talking of fine specimens, let us look at this VACE 2.2 WAN dual model workflow that I have conjured up just for you chaps, and of course myself, over the last few days. I'm sure many of you felt disappointment in seeing abject bear failure in the last episode, but take heart, my friends, because this is just par for the course. And as always with AI, there are many ways to skin a cat, or in this case mount a bear, on a horse. And you could of course do this with anything, people, objects, wives, but I will in this instance not mount your wife, but instead show you how to mount this bear into your video while swapping out the rider. There are a couple of approaches we can take, and you could, if you wanted, add even more in.
And before I start, just a heads up that there will be one more VACE 2.2 video after Theo's, which will be about restyling using video to video methods. But enough of that. Let us now get on and establish dominance once and for all, as we were born to do over this goddamn bear.
So here is a video capture of the workflow just after I finished it. First we have the video input, and for speed I am only doing this at 120p, and just to let you know that on my 3060 it struggles with 720p, but I can do 576p. Normally I can do 720p with this workflow, but because of what it is doing, it currently maxes out at 576p. So this part grabs the first frame, which we will then use in the targeting points editor. The variety color router nodes allow me to switch between using the points editor to target the bear, or using Florence 2 with text description, which is bypassed here, but I will show you later. The masking method is SAM2 based, and it's pretty good. And as you can see, it has created a binary black and white mask of the rider. The points editor works using green to target the object and red points to create a boundary around it. It has also created another mask from the points editor and SAM2 masking, but this one is applied to the original video with middle grey, as you can see here. And much like in the last video, I have added in the bear, removed the background and made sure it is padded. The important point here is the position of this reference image. It usually needs to sit roughly in the same place as your first frame of the video, so the end result is roughly right for that. Everything is going into the VACE encode node, and yes, that is the only VACE node you need in this workflow. It's the usual setup for the WAN dual model workflow with VACE 2.2, though I noticed I had changed the config setting to 1, and I did that because we do have one problem with this workflow: is flashes in the first frame caused by the reference image. You'll see that in a moment. And if it doesn't get fixed by the low noise pass, you may need to fiddle with the prompt, the seed, or try other things like I have here. That weird looking thing has notes in the workflow and may not be needed. I use it to disable the first block of the speed up LoRa, which sometimes helps sort out the first frame flash. The models are WAN 2.2 FP8 scaled and VACE 2.2 FP8 scaled, but you can use whatever VACE and WAN dual model combo you prefer. And here is the output from the high noise model first, where you can see the flash, and the low noise model final result, where the flash has been fixed. As I said, if the flash appears in the high noise, it's fine. And if it appears in the end result, try fiddling with the seed, the prompt, and after that change the reference image to make sure it fits with the target in the first frame more accurately. This is a problem with VACE 2.2, but it is all about finding workarounds. So I did this work here, but not in the previous video. Well, the targeting and the placement is key. I was trying to add a bear into a random spot. I was not using it to swap out an existing person or object. The two key factors then are making a mask that tracks through the video, and placing the reference image on a target it can track and swap out. I'm sure there are a dozen other ways to do it, and even add a random bear in, but until that is something I need, I will stick to this method. And just to show you that the bear was a fluke, while also showing you the Florence 2 method of targeting subjects for masking by adding in a text description. Here is me targeting the horse and rider to swap in higher quality character. The astute amongst you might notice the background of this video is looking different, and I will be showing you how I did that in the next video to restyle a video. And you can see with Florence 2, it tracks things slightly different, but is equally as effective if you can target it with words. In this case, the simple words horse and rider did the job. Ignore the man with a gun that is only showing because I tested it previously. with the points editor, and it hasn't changed the first frame image since I unplugged it from the workflow to use Florence 2 group on this video. And you can see that I'm applying that same approach again, getting the rider roughly in the same position as the target masking is. Sometimes this can be very fussy, and other times it is fine. And again, here in the high noise output, I was getting the dreaded reference image flash. I will keep looking for solutions to it, but as yet none have worked in VACE 2.2 dual model workflows. And the final result of this was really just me wanting to see how VACE stood up against Wanimate as a character swap out for compositing shot. And it looks pretty good. There are some issues, but as I said, with this first version of this workflow, I haven't yet looked into ways to get it to 720p, so I'm stuck with 576p as a max. It ran 720p, but the GPU was blapping. That would have taken way longer than I'm willing to wait. Something for a future time, or maybe just address in the upscaler workflows that I have done videos on elsewhere. And I think that covers it for today. Cruising into the finish line at a tidy 708 minutes. Let's call it a day there and go get an early lunch. Next video will be about restyling, using VACE to change the visual aesthetic of your video while not changing the underlying structure too much. Till then, ciao bambino.